team ban.
I assumed Chappie was going to get going, but I guess I'll take care of it. Bastard's probably grabbing a drink. Anyway, we're back with game two. Saw 404 win, relatively convincing fashion. Pulled off a nice turtle strategy, getting the OD in a farm, and their main core heroes, BKBs, up in time to counteract the Tide strategy pulled off by the Radiant in the last game. So they were able to take a nice 1-0 victory, and we'll see what they have in store for us here in game two. This is, again, the ESL Easter Cup finals, and we are watching 401 versus, it's either Qwert or Qwerty. I think we're pretty sure it's Qwert. Probably I've looked that up now, but it's such an action-packed game that there was just really no time for it. And hopefully you'll have another one similar to that in this game. Ban's already starting off taking out the heroes that would kind of oppose that possibility from happening. Bear, a really annoying farming hero, and Invoker, great at defending, not so great at pushing. Well, he's actually, with the Quasi-Exort build, more likely to be pushing actually these days. So, I mean, I guess that's a possibility. Chappie, by the way, if you're here, you can just let me know when you're back.
Hi.
There you are.
I'm back.
Oh!
I think we get some candy, some nerds.
Nerds? I love nerds.
I know, they're like the little jelly bean kind of nerds too. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. They have I'll say they have a craggy exterior, but a soft inside.
Are you serious? I've never had anything like that, but it sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, it's good. Easter, dude. My favorite part of Easter is going the day after Easter and swooping up all the discounted candy. But yeah, so what are we looking at so far? Anything? No, we just got it started. I didn't miss too much, did I?
No, just basically typical bans, nothing unusual in this regard. A little bit interesting to see at a tournament. I mean, this is, an amateur semi-pro. I mean, these teams are... Well, Replica was in this tournament, which is at least kind of like what I would consider a tier 3 team. So, I mean, I guess some of these teams are pretty decent, certainly. And what I would say is, though, it's a little unusual to see a Chen ban at kind of this level of play, because you don't necessarily know whether or not the other team can play it effectively. Like, I think we were testing the semifinals, and the first game, the Chen was actually banned, and the second game, no one banned Chen, and no one even bothered to pick him. So, kind of, you have to wonder about that ban from time to time. But the problem is, I guess, if you don't ban it, and the other team can play it really well, you can certainly get punished with it. So.
Right.
Just safer button. Sorry.
So I'm trying to get my bearings now. So Skilo, they're on the Radiant now. That Skilo is 404, and they lost. Okay. Is that correct? Okay. All right.
That is correct.
And the winners of last game. All right. So they are going to go with the Tide this time. I don't know. We'll see. What's that?
Actually, the exact same picks as last time, in the exact same order.
Really?
Yeah.
Except the Tide is on a different team now, right?
No, it's the same team.
Oh, really?
Skilo won. They didn't have the Tide.
Oh, right.
The BKBs beat the Tide.
Wow. All right. So we'll see if they make the same mistake.
Yeah, maybe they feel like they should have won the last game, and if they just capitalized a little bit earlier, they would have. But yeah.
Well, that's what they would have had to do. Is definitely they would have had to. They honestly they kind of need someone like a Lesh or something, which they're never getting. They're always taking that Tide first, but they need someone. They needed to take that game earlier, definitely. If that OD gets any, oh gosh, and here we go again. Well, no, not again. This actually is completely different, a departure from what they did last game. Now they actually have pretty much one of the hardest carries in the game.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they decide to set him up with that the Lich, the nice Lich Void combo. Obviously, still a possibility at this point. Knowing they need support still, though, it's possible Radiant will try to ban that out. Although, Lich pretty uncommon support, but maybe they just, because Lich doesn't really fit into the metagame. The metagame being played here might be a little bit different than the metagame being played in which Lich is no longer a top-tier hero. So it's a possibility, and especially after they tried to go all in, well, not necessarily all in, but tried to commit into pushing earlier and got denied, I guess they've decided, like you said, to just really go late game. And Lich is great for that because you get such an experience advantage from those denies over the course of a game.
Yeah. We'll see how they choose to play Qwap. I like how, I think it was Sing Sing or somebody that popularized the Qwap with the Travels and Agnums, and you're basically like a Tinker, except you're more effective.
Sexy Bamboo, I think that was, actually.
That's right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if they choose to go that route. But we're gonna have the last pick come out here. Let's see what did they do last game? They went VS, was it? I think they had VS in this phase, right?
Yeah, because Sasu's team had the Enigma, so the VS just made more sense.
SK. Strong pick.
Yeah, SK's great. I mean, especially SK Leshrac Land. It's pretty much a classic, so making it easy to set that up, which gives them a lot of flexibility, whether they want to pick up a jungle hero or pick up a third hero for that tri-lane, or even potentially set up a dual mid, which, if you do have a Lich Void, is something you're probably looking to face. So.
Yeah. By the way, how is everyone liking the pretty picture in the middle of your screen right now? That is obviously, if you haven't figured it out, I don't know if there's any kind of delay or anything, but that's obviously the talented Hari. Well,
That
have
would.
you landed on Harry or Hari? I think I have to go with Hari on
It,
this.
it's always been Harry. I just gave you the
You
benefit
just
of the doubt when you were calling me Harry.
Yeah, I mean, because I could, and, you know, Harry. It would make sense if your name was Harry, but since it's not
Mhm.
Harry, there's like absolutely no way you can go with the Nick Harry, because that's just, you don't do that. You don't nick yourself a real person name if it's not your real name, you know. So
No,
you're Hari. I've now
you know
knighted
what?
you
Though
Hari.
I actually I would love to do that sometime to make my nick just
That
like
is
Bob or
true.
something. You
Just
know? Yeah.
my
No,
name
no, not my
is
name, someone else's name.
Jack.
Because all the time, like when I'm playing like StarCraft 2 or something, I hate bringing this up constantly, but you know, you see that person who just put their name in, thinking that this was where they're supposed to put in their name, but it actually ended up being their account name. So they're going around with the name like Jeff or Austin,
Mm.
like playing on BattleNet. And I would love to just name myself like Adam for
Yeah,
Dota
just
2.
troll
Like,
people.
yeah, yeah,
So what's your
exactly.
name? Bill.
Or even better is actually to take the name and then put numbers after it, because people always respect the person with a name, and random numbers afterwards is going to feed the shit out of the game. And it's probably true.
That is so true. I want to see like a pro player's name, like Dragon or X Dragon Slayer X311. Right? Isn't that the worst? That is the
Uh,
worst. X Dragon Slayer X, I think, is potentially the
yeah, but
noobiest name.
you wouldn't put random numbers after that one. You put 666 after that one for sure.
Oh no, what about lowercase x, capital X, Dragon Slayer, capital X, lowercase? I'm gonna put it in chat.
Anyway, we should probably. Oh, they actually the Radiant does decide to ban out the Lich. So understanding well enough that Void Lich combo and not wanting to have to face it. Meanwhile, the Dire actually they banned out the Storm, which they played in the first game, but I guess they just want to have the. I mean, Storm is good at picking off farming carries in the side lanes. You know, when you do that strategy that I was talking about, where you leave your carry farming while the other four defend, Storm can really punish you for that. So that's good pick if you're trying to farm for a while. And then obviously banning the OD, which kind of crushed them in the first game, even if it was more of a specific pick to counter a specific strategy,
Ooh!
or whether it was WoW and Jakiro.
I like
That's
the
really
synergy. I like the synergy here.
yeah. His ult is obviously great with the Void ult, although it is a little bit strange because typically we do see Jakiro in pushing lineups. You know, maxing that the Flame Breath or whatever it's called. No, burning. I don't know his passive basically.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not.
What is it? Oh, see, you shouldn't have. Okay, continue.
Yeah, anyway, maxing his passive early on because it's such an effective pushing tool. I mean, the typical Jakiro build we would see would be something
Spitfire.
like
Is it spit something? Spit?
Spitfire.
Spit? Is he
Well,
spitting? I
whatever.
think he's spitting. Go ahead.
I'm clicking on learn and I'm figuring this shit out because this is something. Honestly, who really cares? I mean, it's not like well,
It's the
I care
passive.
enough. Yeah, it's the passive. How come I can't even find this hero now? This is just awful.
I don't know, but yeah, demon. But yeah, dude, I'm excited for Twin Head. Obviously, for those of you not understanding the quote synergy, you got the ult there from Void, obviously keeping everyone stationary, and that absolutely does wonders if the planets align and you can actually combo that with the ult there from Twin Head. The Twin Head being
Fire.
liquid fire. Okay. Twin Head's ult, Jakiro's ult being Macropyre, and obviously it basically, for those of you who haven't seen the beauty, it's a river of dot damage basically, but it happens quickly. So if you sit in it for a few seconds, you're pretty much gonna die. It's extremely powerful, and the reason it's extremely powerful is because it's extremely hard to use effectively. So it's kind of like a risk-reward trade that they have there, and it's a pretty decent balance. So we'll see if they can do it. They have very, very weak targeted stuns from the Dire side. So it's going to actually be pretty difficult to combo Macropyre with anything other than either the ult from Tide, which is not the greatest combo, or ideally the ult from Void. So that's kind of a risk. What I usually like to see more with, obviously with Twin Heads, is more single target stunners, like kind of like a primary stunner, like a Sven or VS or something. But we'll see if I'm right here, and if it is indeed hard for Twin Head to be as effective as he otherwise would be with those stunners.
Yeah, well, they're not. They have terrible stun. I mean,
Yeah.
in the matter of saying they have actually no technically single targets, no point stuns. I mean, they've got the arrow which needs to land, and they've got the Chikiro stun, which
It's
is
a
also very
concern.
yeah. So that is going to be a big problem for them. I really wonder about the Mirana pick. I feel like they had the late game going for them anyway with the Void. I'm not really sure that it was necessary for them to pick up Mirana. I feel like some other sort of, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know exactly what they're trying to set up with the lanes anyway. Are they going to send maybe a dual mid with Void Jakiro or something like that? And they wanted, now that Tide supporting in the side lane, I don't really know. These Deepak, and Deepak actually Was he the Tide last game?
I do not. No, I do not.
No, it was overwhelming raping quality. Yeah, so Deepak was playing support last game, so it is going to be a support Tide instead of a farming Tide this time. And it looks like,
Yeah.
they are going to be sending the Chikiro Void mid, most likely, which is a little bit unusual. Typically, when you have a mid support dual lane, it's going to be a max range dual lane, or max range support, rather than Chikiro, whose range is not that amazing at 400. But against a solo lane, it should still be pretty fine against the Rasta, so it'll be all right. I don't know. We'll see.
It should be, like you said, it should be okay. They should be fine. It could have been a lot worse. We're going to have all 5 smoke up here from, again, this is 4-4, the losers of last game, trying to make something happen. Again, this is what they did last start of the fight, and they actually lost.
4-4 actually won the last game, not the losers of the last game.
Oh, well, this is the team that lost, though. That's smoking again, right?
No, the team that won is smoking.
Really?
Yeah, they were in the tire last game. Side switched.
I guess it's both teams like stun first on Lesh. I was surprised. I mean, I'm looking at the stun first on Lesh. I'm thinking again.
No, it's the same player. They lost the initial engagement. They won the game.
The battle begins.
Okay. See, now we're on the same page, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I guess it's communication.
Right.
Intent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was what I thought it was. I just got who won. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, interestingly enough, they are not pairing. Oh, yeah, the Sand King is heading back up there. I was wondering, it looked like he was going bottom, which meant they would not be pairing up the Sand King with Leshrac, which is quite unusual. I would definitely expect that lane to get it. But they are going to, and the Shadow Beam is actually, looked like he was maybe going to head bottom, but now they realize that there's probably going to be a dual mid, so I guess he's probably going to head mid, which actually, yeah, see, this is the problem with this is why setting a not max range support mid to support your carry is not a good plan, because if the other team decides to actually rotate another hero mid and they go dual mid against you, you're just going to get stomped. Yeah. And this Chikiro and Void are just going to have the worst time ever against this Shadow Demon Rasta lane.
Not only dual mid, but dual ranged. Both have a longer range than Twin Head at that, so that is doubly hard. And there's a dual lane up top and a solo down bottom. Fairly even solo 1v1 down bottom. Up top, you obviously are going to want to give the advantage, a slight advantage, obviously, to the SK and the Lesh, but at least the thing going in Mirana's favor is that he has leap, so it's not the easiest of kills per se, but a Tide Hunter is a little bit more at risk of dying, but then again, Tide Hunter is a fat fish and hard to kill, so
he is complete support, so he does only have 625 health, which, I mean, it's not really an only has. I mean, that's still a ton, but typically early on you would expect Tide to have around 700 health, so I mean, he's going to be a potential liability, but yeah, I mean, it's unlikely that the Radiant is going to be able to get an easy kill on this one. It would require some really precise timing and a good positioning by the Leshrac, basically, to follow up with Edict damage after the leave, which is most likely going to get the Mirana away. So, yeah, I don't know. But even if the Radiant doesn't really get an advantage in this top lane, they're just going to win mid by so much that they should still have an easy advantage going into the mid game here. And with a strategy based around a carry, when that carry is not farming at all, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just going to have to really hope that synergy works out for them with the Macropyre and the Void ult, because otherwise they're not going to be getting much thanks to his farm.
Yeah. And something worth mentioning, I like that the Radiant team has done is they've taken obviously Shadow Demon, and it's actually going to be very effective for Shadow Demon to use obviously disruption. Yeah, it's disruption when Sasu ults, because obviously he's going to completely negate the majority of the effectiveness of the Sasu ult. And then after the disruption, he's going to have, a really strong illusion. So that's going to be something worth watching out for as well. As I hear you typing.
Yeah, sorry, I had to respond to someone about the stream. I was promoting our amazing casting, basically. Yeah, that is a very good point, actually. That is a really nice counter to that. Did they pick up the Shadow Demon? Oh, actually, Macropyre. He's been spamming these Macropyres. I mean, not the Macropyres, the Ice Paths.
He's just searching for something to do that's effective, but not really. It's not that effective.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's tough for him because he can't really max the passive here. I mean, it's not really that effective unless you're pushing, and in a lane like this, he's not really gonna get an attack off. So, I mean, the Dual Breath has such a short range that he just has no chance to really get hits off with that. So instead, yeah, he's just spamming Ice Path and hoping to get a couple auto attacks off after the freeze. But I don't know, that doesn't deal any damage, and it's not the most effective strategy ever.
No, it's not.
It's just tough. I don't know. I mean, if I was them, I would probably have tried to rotate these lanes a little bit. I would send the Chikiro top with the Void and form a tri-lane with the Tide, and then just have the Mirana solo mid. So I can do a fine job against these two, and that would give the Void a better chance of farming rather than this mid, which is going to be horrendous for him.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a ton of flexibility here. They could have easily made that tri-lane. They do have Qwert and Mirana. They could easily have soloed both of those, like you mentioned. So that would have been much more favorable. I think you should charge for coaching. That's what I think. But yeah, that would have been definitely more favorable. If you're not going to have a max range support, and like you said, tri-lane's pretty nice. And there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. So.
Yeah, the problem was that the Radiant was really quick to react, sending the Shadow Demon and to respond to this lane because they showed the Void actually standing in the mid very early on. So I mean, maybe if they bought a little bit more time, if you force the opposing team to switch their lanes to yours and then you switch after, you haven't really lost anything. But the fact that the Radiant really lost nothing switching their lanes, I guess the Dire is just afraid to switch up and kind of lose even more time. But again, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if you leave the Jakiro mid while the Void heads top. I mean, you're not getting. The problem is generally when you switch lanes, you want to do it with a gank so that you get something out of it. But there's really no possibility for that here, unfortunately. I mean, Leshrac is pretty easy to kill if the Jakiro went, but Jakiro's really not a great ganking hero, and it would just be a little bit too obvious. So still, I think if you leave the Jakiro mid, get Jakiro a couple levels isn't really that bad of a thing. The sooner he gets Macro Fire alongside the Void's ult, and the better. And then once the Void gets up there and starts farming, then you can have the Mirana TP mid, and then Jakiro eventually head up there. And you're not really losing any experience. You're losing a little bit of farm potential, but it would well be worth it, like I said, to have more favorable lanes. As is, the Mirana actually doesn't really have much goal either. Let me take a look at her farm. Oh my god, only 6 and 4 against a 23 and 4 Leshrac. That's not so good.
Wait, what? My goodness.
Mirana is 24 versus a 23 and 4 Leshrac top. So Mirana is not farming either. Yeah, his lane's really not working out for the Dire at all. I don't really know what to say about that other than that really sucks.
Yeah, it definitely does. I really feel it's not even the pick so much as the lanes, and that is, skill is important. Don't get me wrong, but when you combine the importance of A, picking, plus B, laning, that has literally, without exaggeration, has got to be 80% of the game decided at that point. Like, it's that important, if not more. I mean, so that's why knowledge and indeed the majority of learning curve associated with Dota is that right there. It's not the mechanical ability to play a hero. That's not hard. It is the ability to lane and to pick effectively, and that is definitely what the best of the best know how to do. And that is
I was just watching them run on top. Actually, there was a creep there that was like attacking one of her creeps, and there was no one else around. Like the Leshrac was further down, so he had no potential of contesting the creep kill. And then Mirana was sitting there animation canceling actually, and just animation. Oh, actually going to be top.
Yeah, top
on the tide. See if they can kill him with the Soul Catcher is actually going to be after all the spells, but the right click damage is actually going to be enough now.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Oh, what are we doing? No, we're not going to go in. All right. Well, I don't know if that was not called or what. There's no words whatsoever on the map, so I could have very easily just been a walk.
Looks like the rotation was right at the 6-minute mark, which was a smart move, obviously, expecting when the wards went down. Typically. But yeah, as I was saying, she was actually animation canceling she canceled the animation for about 2 seconds before eventually throwing the arrow and then still missed the last hit.
Strong play.
Yeah, Soul Catcher is actually going to land this time before any of the other abilities, so that's going to be an easy kill. The Shadow Demon actually matching Soul Catcher. This is a pretty typical support build. I mean, when you support Shadow Demon, usually either maxing Disruption or Soul Catcher first. And in this case, opting for the Soul Catcher since they do have nice nuking type abilities. Not that big of a difference either way around. Obviously, when you go support, you're usually not going to go Shadow Poison because you really want the levels to make Shadow Poison effective, even though it is probably his most imbalanced ability. But that's really only in the early game, and obviously Disruption is just ridiculous later on, and Soul Catcher is ridiculous at all points of the game, so I mean, Shadow Demon obviously a very strong support regardless.
Alright, we're going to have a bit of a flank here. The Slow's going to come out Dark Ogre. He's going to get nuked down. We'll see if eventually, there he goes. Finally, the Dual Breath comes out, and that's going to be that. One does go down. Stun canceled. Lightning comes out instead. And just 1 for 1, or 1 for none, I mean. So very desperately needed that. And honestly, probably shouldn't have gotten that considering that was really just a result of poor positioning. And honestly, the early game potential in general from the Radiant is just far superior to the Dire in general. So if they just mind their positioning and have good movement, they should really be able to run away with the early game and then hopefully push before Void becomes out of control. But I did want to also talk even more again about as we're going to see a 2v1 in here. Artista might be in a little bit of... He's going to... The ult's going to be thrown out. 2 ults now. Actually, that's going to be enough. Nicely done. Spare no expense. Early game, 8 minutes in. Pre 15 minutes. Ults on 1 target. Absolutely fine. Do what you gotta do to get those kills, especially if you're this team who needs every bit of help.
We're not going to go down top though.
Marana again, they go down now. It's a 2v2 exchange. Unfortunately, it could have been a 2v3, but now Edict is out and doing work, playing in danger of going down. Stun comes out actually, and that's going to be that. He's going to go down, and again, this early game dominance here is just really evident in the Radiant side.
Yeah, well, the problem is you have a Jakiro who, like you were saying, really needs initiation stuns, because yeah, that ice path, I mean, it wasn't really his fault. He threw it out, but there's really nothing he can do with it if he doesn't have something to lead into it. And Bigelish does a little bit, but
I keep on talking about that because that's actually something that Complexity, my team, tried to do, is use Twin Head in a less than ideal situation, and it completely did not pay off. Obviously, the lane was and at the time it was, it just, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I'll be the first to bash my own team, and no one's gonna give me shit for it. But yeah, it was just it's the same problem as this. There was not enough. There's not enough stuns, really. And if you're gonna play Twin Head is an amazing, has amazing damage potential. As top, he's gonna die for sure. Yeah, no point in even debating that fact. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna run Twin Head, the hero on paper has such potential, but you almost need to build your lineup around Twin Head, the support. You need to build it around him. So he needs to be effective in a laning setting and in a team fight setting. Here they have him pretty effective in a team fight setting, but aside from that, he is virtually useless. I mean, it is to the extent where it's almost worse than like having Alina without a primary stunner. Like, his stuff is so insanely hard to land without assistance. That's just the way he's meant to be, because his stuff is so effective. He's got slows, dots, and tons of sustained damage. We're gonna have a push here in mid. Arrow comes out, is gonna land. This could be good if they turn right here. It is, and now the tower is doing what it can. Artista should be going down. Ult comes out, unfortunately does not hit Artista. We'll see whether they can get enough damage here. Noob's run. Noob is gonna go down potentially. Actually, is that Void? No, where's Void? Void. I missed Void. Void. There, Void was disrupted. Okay, that's where Void was. Literally, he just juked me. And unfortunately, that would have been a little bit more effective of a team fight for the Dire had Void landed.
Watch the power shot, though. No. He's
holding back
to go for it. Yeah.
No, he's holding back. And actually, damn, he's going to grab it there, though. He's going to grab it there. Nicely done for Nabor. But yeah, unfortunately, Void did not land that ult on the Artista, and it ended up paying back, so they lost that one. But yeah, again, if I can emphasize any more, the weakness of picking Twin Head, if he is not like, if you've not centered a lineup around him, like, to be effective, it's a detrimental thing. They're gonna have a go here. Nice. Was that a double kill? It was a double kill.
Yeah,
actually. Big play there from overwhelming raping quality. That was a very overwhelming raping quality ult there from. And look at this damage on that deal. LPX, low danger. See him from last game. I remember him. No, he's gonna go down here. Triple kill. Wow. Go green.
Yeah, just a little bit of overcommitment. Not paying enough attention to the fact that there is a Queen of Pain on the other team who can really punish you for staying too long.
A little bit of throw.
Yeah, just a little bit. It was a great ult from the Queen of Pain, which is not the easiest ability in the world to land, actually.
No.
Not to land that effectively, certainly. Yeah, speaking of abilities, it's tough to land. Yeah, the problem with the Jakiro isn't just that, his abilities are like kind of slow in the sense of Ice Path.
Everything.
But his cast time is just horrendous.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you actually have a hero run up to Twin Head and try to like run in circles around him, it's actually impossible to land even dual breath on that hero that is standing point blank range to
I am aware, and it's happened to me. It is. I mean, you literally need a primary stunner to be effective. I mean, it's just that simple. So the fact that you don't have that, I think the lane that Complexity ran that was so ineffective was a Morphling. A Jakiro lane. It just did not work for obvious reasons. I mean, you don't need much explanation after we've given for plenty. But it doesn't mean that the hero is bad. I mean, the hero has tons of potential. They're gonna have a unlucky, does not land. We're gonna have a TP. Can they grab anybody? There should be almost no one to grab. Oh, he does finally grab something. Nicely done. Oh, disruption. You completely sacrifice your teammate. Here we go down. Say goodbye. Noobs run, noob. Is that run? Noobs run. I'm a little dyslexic. It would appear. It does go down.
I just realized that's another nice combo, though, actually, that didn't quite get it off there, but in general, in the mid-game here, is actually having a Leshrac start up the Edict and then disruptioning him, obviously, because then he can still stand in but not take any damage, and the Edict will continue. I'm almost 100% positive, since it continues after death. I have no reason to think that it wouldn't continue there, so that would actually be kind of nice.
Pretty interesting. Can't really build a strat around it, but no, there's no point. We can't draw attention to synergy when we see it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of synergy.
Are you a motivational speaker? You come to businesses and tell them about how they
About
can
synergy?
synergize?
I do it for Dota teams. I come and I talk.
So Void actually, he started with Ring of Hell, 4-man shield. I guess going for the Battle Fury build, although to be honest at this point I don't really know a build that's basically not Battle Fury and Void. I mean, it's pretty much the standard go-to. Actually, they're going to try to defend this tower here, and Arrow is going to land. Some nice arrows coming out from Rana, actually, despite her inability to CS top. That has been pretty good. I mean, that's a little bit harsh, but well, whatever. See, it's a what is that? Like an insult sandwich or something like that, or like bad news sandwich. Like, you know,
I know, yeah, I think I know
nice
what you're saying.
arrow, but yeah, can't CS and really good leaps.
Oh god, that is brilliant. Nice arrow. Terrible player, but it was a strong leap afterwards. No, I'm just playing.
No, I'm certainly
not
a
what we're
terrible
saying.
player.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not. Is this
But
is
yeah,
this
so as I was saying, the Void going, it looks like Battle Fury, I would guess. Well, it went the Ring of Health first, which is pretty typical for going through any sort of Battle Fury type thing. It ended up going Tread second, which is reasonable since he wasn't getting very good farm. It'll be a quite late Battle Fury if he does opt to go for it. But as I said, I don't really know of many other builds on Void that you basically go other than Battle Fury at this point. I mean, generally speaking, you really, with Void, you do need the time to farm, so you pretty much need to be being able to get to Battle Fury anyway. But they're definitely not getting the time to farm because Radiant is just taking all these towers.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, if you ignore laning and just look at how imbalanced the picks are in general, like you've got essentially 5 tier 1, potentially 1 tier 2 hero on the Radiant. Pretty much 5 tier 1 heroes, and the same cannot be said for the Dire side. And not only that, not only do they not have all tier 1 picks, which you don't need per se, but there's just no synergy with the picks they have. So if you're gonna pick kind of weird picks, you know, tier 2 heroes, there better be a damn well good reason that you do it, and they've not really done that here. They do have a strong AoE. You know, we'll see. Maybe this green can carry the game single-handedly with those ults, but that's a huge burden on green. We're gonna have Nibur kindly find one here, but he's gonna find the rest of the team right behind that. But it is doesn't matter because Nibur's team is right behind him as well, so they're gonna be forced to go back, and they're gonna have a push here up top, which they can easily do because Lesh, again, talk about a tier 0 hero. Lesh is so good right now and fits perfectly into the metagame. People just discovered him, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and discovered how great he fits into the push metagame because
Smoking actually might catch Artista here though. Which would have been perfect, but no.
Oh, we're gonna have some AoE come out. Dark Ogre should be going down here. Unfortunately, the Ward Trap cannot land. Meanwhile, down bottom, in the bottom of the team fight, the nice shackle and nice damage, but not enough to actually get any kills so far whatsoever. Now Deepak gonna get the ult, probably gonna go down as well. Edict does run out, and now we're gonna have an ult. Is there enough DPS to do anything here? No, there is certainly not, and the stun comes out beside that. So ineffective, and that is just unfortunate to watch. He's going to try and do what he can to survive, but he should be going down here. Actually, he's going to backtrack. Overpowered, not going to matter. He cannot Matrix dodge that bullet, although it almost looks like he did. Now, oh, look at Sand King goes down as well. He goes down to Queen of Pain. So Queen of Pain doing what she can, missing that stun. And that is going to be a bit closer of an exchange than I expected, but gosh, just these picks, well, the Void not doing anything, the Twin Head not doing anything, it's just tough.
The Void ult actually caught a couple there, but the Twin Head and him just had poor coordination there at all. No real synergy between the players, one might say. Yeah. They need to synergize their actions a little bit more because, yeah, the Twin Head actually had plenty of life, decided to throw out a Macropyrance anyway, basically on one hero who was kind of disabled, but not really, instead of waiting for the Void ult, which came about a half second later. Oh, this arrow, no, too much vision on that one with the creeps there. But yeah, so if the Twin Head had actually gotten that ult off with the Void ult on those two heroes that were right next to each other, it would have been something. Overwhelming rape quality, maybe trying to rape a little bit too much here is actually just going to go down.
Oh god. Nope, he's actually going to trade though. Does he have leap? He does not have leap. He's going to go down. Not trade actually, that was just 2. Never mind. Talk about a misplay there. Now Deepak is on the run. There's no mana left. 20 seconds on mana boots.
Oh, Blink is actually on Sand King, so yeah, gonna catch
Is that? Yeah, it's one. And the big old slow comes out. Nope, not really. Not enough. Let's see if Deepak is gonna live here. If there's one stun up in 2 seconds, they're gonna dive here. Oh, not gonna need to. Fortunately for them, not gonna need to. 12-8 right now. 18 minutes in, and this looks to be a 2-0 so far. To me, on paper, it looks like this is gonna be a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, well, taking the outer tower certainly is a lot easier than moving into the base. Typically,
oh my god!
Have to look for...
Look at the tower situation, by the way.
Yeah. We'll take a look at the gold graph. 12,000
Good lord.
At 18 minutes, that's what 666 gold difference per minute, basically, which is just a bit ridiculous. But yeah, as I was saying, it is more difficult to break into the base, especially with nice AoE ults like Tide, Queen of Pain, Void, and obviously the Twin Head. So they're going to have to get a pick off before they do it, which is obviously why they placed this nice aggressive ward here up in the dire jungle, hoping to catch someone. Basically, also one ward nicely placed here to catch. Yeah, here doesn't really help since I'm showing it to myself on my screen, but you can't see. What?
No, I totally know how annoying that is. What you're saying.
Oh
right
yeah.
now.
Well,
here,
definitely something that should be changed. If I ping, please just let the other spectators see it. I mean, I understand why
I
you don't
know.
want that in general because of like the people who are actually spectating the game rather than the broadcasters. But all right, there's 4 broadcasters. I think you can trust them to ping effectively, not to spam the screen.
At least give us an option, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so that another ward down by the bottom rune, getting nice vision in case the Dire had decided to do a quick Roshan steal. There was no chance of that happening, and looks like the Titan's gonna get Shackle shot up here. Does have his ult, so he's gonna get a pop it.
He's dead. He is dead. All right, well, nice ult there. Actually, fall up there over Raping Quality. Yeah, that's actually his name. Overwhelming Raping Quality. Look at the nice AoE. They actually got 2. They're in a slight advantage, but the blink, is it a blink? No, it is a blink stun actually. Skewer comes in and equalizes. Now 2-2 exchange. He blinks away, and we'll see if he can survive. Stun is up in 1 second. Blink is up in 3. We'll see if they can try and grab one more. No, they're gonna go ahead and turn back, and it was just an even 2-for-2 exchange there.
By the way, I'd just like to point out that the new Shadow Poison animation looks so awesome compared to the old one, as opposed to the ridiculous Sonic Wave. That like fiery burning stuff that he sends out now looks quite sweet. So,
I haven't even noticed it yet. I'm gonna pay attention now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw the old one, right? It was basically like a circle that he shot out, which is look ridiculous. And now it's actually kind of a little bit more similar to the original ability, although not quite, because the original ability actually didn't look that great either. But this one does look quite awesome. You'll see it next time. Just notice the graphics on it. Like it literally like burns while it moves. It's quite cool.
Cool. I will look for it now. We're gonna have a go here on Rosh. Artista, doing work though. I gotta say, let's actually go ahead. We haven't opened or looked at much of it all. Let's go open items. Let's look at items. We were surprised by the blink on SK. Put a 4-staff on Artista. That's pretty interesting. You don't usually see a 4-staff on Artista, do you?
No, that was actually more of a
Shadow.
Well, I hate to say this, but this is a bit of actually a Han build. To be honest, it was kind of popular to pick a 4-staff on Polywog. And I think, I'm not positive, but I think Artista might have actually been a Han player. I'm not positive though. The name sounds familiar, or looks familiar, but that's possible just because I've seen him on top live matches a lot, and I'm just so used to that by now. But anyway, yeah, 4-staff, a little bit unusual there, but again, kind of the poor man's blink. And again, it just kind of makes sense, although a little bit less than the Tide 4-staff, just with the idea that if you're pushing, he's in the front anyway, and it allows him to kind of 4-staff in and do something. But in this case, you know, I think I would rather have the blink on him. Just because
I don't mind it either way, but yeah, it's just much bigger range.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, he's not necessarily, like, standing in the front when you're pushing.
Oh, definitely
in theory,
not.
you'd like him to blink on someone, throw down the ult, and use that as a push. But speaking of blinking on someone, the Void is actually going to blink here and probably catch this...
oh, my God. It's not hard to have a better ult than that. It's really not. Unfortunately, he clips... it's not going to matter here, but, I mean, it could have. I don't, you know.
Well, I know it actually is going to matter because the team is going to come here for the Radiant, and this is going to be trouble.
Yeah, all right, well, the Artist is going to throw that ult out. He's going to, unfortunately, not land the surround, but meanwhile, down bottom, on the bottom side, no, none's going to down. Ult does come out there from Deepak. I'm
huge Queen of Pain ult again, but the mech actually heals most of it back up. Hit 3 or 4 heroes again. This, I mean, overwhelming Raven quality. He's really giving his all here, but unfortunately, it's just not really been enough. Actually, drums on Queen of Pain. That's quite unusual.
Definitely is. But yeah, what I was referring to, for those of you who are not sure, is the Void, the ult. I mean, it was so not hard to just effectively ult there, and by effectively ult again, I mean to not get your teammate in it, to avoid Tide, and Tide could, you know, ideally you just put Tide at the edge of it so Tide can actually melee into the ult, but yeah, I mean that just kind of goes to show, I guess that is, I'm not going to deny, that is where the solo skill factor comes into play. That is the 20% that I was talking about, where you know, that can make the difference. Personal skill.
Actually going for Roche again. I guess they probably... I see the counter ward up, so I assume they counter warded that ward on hill effectively before, so they know that the Dire has no vision here, and they can quickly run it and take the Roche, which they're going to be able to take. And they have so much map control at this point. Obviously, when you have all your tier 1 towers still up, and the other team doesn't have even any tier 2s, it's going to make it so the creep waves meet instead of, you know, basically by your towers anymore, halfway towards the enemy base. Oh, and actually,
Wow.
we're probably gonna get caught here. Great shackle shot. Is he?
He's
Yeah,
dead.
with SK stun, that's gonna be enough. He's gonna die.
He's dead. How did they see that? Was that just with Sentry Ward vision?
No, they have an actual ward up. Up
Oh, I guess
on
it does reach that far.
one.
Wow,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Great ward spot actually.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, nice pick off there, and with that Aegis plus a Quap down and no buyback, definitely gonna push that into the tower. But 35 seconds, they should be able to get that tower down. Probably not gonna get the racks down before, but we'll see. Is there an ult? There is. All the ults are up except actually Tide. Tide has 35 seconds left on his ult. Everyone else has an ult and 20 seconds on Queen of Pain, which obviously is dead, so that doesn't really matter. She'll be back with hers. And yeah, we'll see. 15 seconds left. Like I said, this should be a dead tower. And we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if they choose to go back after this or not. I really just want to see the combo unfold here from Sasu and Plang. I really, really just want to see a nice ult from Sasu. And it fall. Oh, come on. Come on. No, look at this. There's a good spread here. Good spread. Holy, nice stun. Although he does have, unfortunately, the Aegis, so they got to make sure they don't get baited into something here they don't want to do.
Yeah, Tide actually was running forward, but then realized he actually didn't have enough mana for his ult, even though it was about to come off cooldown, so had to back up. He doesn't have enough mana for it now, but he's actually opting just to go back to base. I assume he may just buy a TP. He probably should on the off chance. I would probably finish up my Magic Wand real quick and buy a TP just in case they do decide to push in. But no, he decides he can actually just run back in time, and there's not a real threat of the Radiant running up. So yeah, no problem there.
So I mean, I'm not sure what the Radiant team is going to do. They're going to TP away actually. So interesting decision, I guess, considering there's no more outer towers to push, and they do have an Aegis. I would have half expected the push right there, but then again, I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, it's just take your advantage. The Rust ult was down; they used it to take the tower, so I assume as soon as that's back up, since they still have the Aegis, that they will go back mid with the Rust ult, and this time place it down on top of the racks, and that will probably be racks. So yeah, just bide your time a little bit. Actually, nice counter warding here by the twin-headed dragon, but actually takes out the ward basically right when it's about to expire anyway. So kind of a little bit unfortunate there. Good job understanding where the ward placement would be. Again, both teams have kind of been spot on understanding where the wards probably are at. Not a lot of wasted time on wards in either of these games, which is always nice to see. Good understanding from the supports of ward positioning. Unfortunately, I want to take a look at the items for the Dire. Actually, yeah, there's actually not a single basically core item pickup yet for anyone on the Dire.
No,
actually,
not even Battle Fury.
Nope.
We have a smoke here. Smoke down. Where are they gonna? This is interesting position. They're actually intentionally out of position now, I guess. Oh my god, what the hell is happening right now? Sasu blinks in. Oh, what a throw. That is just unfortunate. The blink ult comes out from Skewo, and that's just 2 down already for the Dire. Now LPX is going to go down as well. Just overwhelming raping quality, and now alive. Let's see if he can go down as well. Oh, that is a nice little animation. I like that much better than the other one, actually.
Yeah,
it's very pretty. Very pretty, but unfortunately, okay, so we're going to have a buyback. Is that a second buyback? No. Oh,
well, he does still have his ult, and so does the twin-headed dragon, so they're going to think, oh, and actually,
please
yeah,
do
it's going to be an
Oh my god, where the hell is Twinhead? Look at him, he's bouncing around. Done. I mean, that could have been so cool, but then again, it's a level 1 macro pyre, so I mean, even if they would have landed it, I feel like it might have been too little too late at this point, but yeah, they're going to try and pick off a few more people. The ult comes out from Deepak. Gonna do what they can. A couple more right hits. No, the LPX is gonna survive just barely, but that is gonna be mid-racks without a doubt. Good game, well played comes out. And a very convincing second game here from, I want to say, 404. Taking the game, taking the series.
Taking the championship actually, and the cool T-shirts.
And the cool, not dragon bags.
No dragon bags in this
but
tournament.
T-shirts.
Well, actually, that's a little bit of shout I'd like to give to the administrators of this tournament. In the future, how about dragon bags?
I know, whatever that means. Just, your own interpretation. Just make it cool.
Yeah, it basically doesn't really matter what it actually is as long as it's called a dragon bag.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely it. You just can't get much cooler of a prize than that. But yeah, so that's going to be the Easter Cup Finals. This is from ESL. Obviously, if you don't know who ESL is, you are not a gamer, or at least a competitive gamer. But yeah, again, my name was Chappie, and with me was Hari, now correctly pronouncing that. And we come from Dota Live. Shout out to Holy for the win. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Our Twitch, obviously, you're watching is /Dota Live. Facebook and Twitter, I believe, Dota Live Net. Let me know if I'm forgetting anything holy or
as
hard.
well as check out our actual website at duallife.net for all the VODs of previous
Oh, yeah.
tournaments and games that we have taken care of.
That shout out. Almost forgot about that shout out. Okay. All
And
right.
anyway, once again, thanks to the administrators for letting us cast this. It's been a pleasure to cast in this tournament, to see good games like this.
Absolutely. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right. And that's going to be it for us. Again, I was Chappie, and with me was Harry. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.
Thanks for watching.